couple days ago, I did a graph. I think it was yesterday. And I got a lot of heat for my graph. I'm not in the graph business, but we created a LeBron and Zion graph. And I said one's a declining asset, slowly declining, and one's a meteor rising. And people said, well, the way that graphic works, it looks like you're saying Zion was as good as the MVP LeBron about 5 years ago. So our graph wasn't great. But I'm not going to show you my new graph yet. I just want to talk about this. We've always known, because LeBron is older than Kevin Durant by 4 years, and he entered the league 4 years earlier, and LeBron's played so many playoff minutes. We've always known there would be a time when Kevin Durant would surpass LeBron on the floor. You know, he's a younger player. He doesn't have like 9 straight trip to the final minutes. And there would be a time when Kevin would probably be, I'm not talking about legacy, all-time ranking. I'm just talking about there would be a time on the floor that Kevin was better than LeBron. The time on the floor that Kobe was better than Michael, right? The aging star, the rising star. I think that time is today. Kevin Durant, again last night, 12 of 13. He's on a absolute tear. So let me give you my new graph, and I think we've done a better job with this one. No knock on our stock market graph maker yesterday. That if you look at, if you look at LeBron and Kevin Durant entering the league, LeBron's been the better player. And I think any arguments to oppose that are reaching. But I think now we have reached that point, and that happens with declining and rising stars, that we're close to begin with, where Kevin Durant's the more efficient player. And efficiency matters. Remember, overall numbers for LeBron in his best years, Miami were a couple of these, and Cleveland were a couple of these. He had about a 5-year peak. His numbers didn't explode. His efficiency did. Because overall total numbers, volume can be deceiving. Efficiency isn't. Right now, Kevin Durant's efficiency against LeBron, efficient field goal percentage, true shooting percentage, win shares, stuff that NBA analytics mavens pour over. Durant's the better player. That's not to say LeBron's a bad player efficiency-wise. It's just Kevin Durant now is as good as anybody in the sport. And if you don't believe this, and I believe this morning, if you asked all 32 NBA GMs, you've got to sign one of these guys to a 4-year contract. I think virtually all of them would take Kevin Durant. I really do. Unless it was ticket sales involved. LeBron comes with baggage, clutch sports. You got to kind of find the coach that works with him. I think all GMs based on game longevity would choose Kevin Durant. And that's not to say it wouldn't be close. That's not to say LeBron's not going to be great next year. It's not to say LeBron isn't efficient or wasn't good this year. But GMs today going forward, I think we've reached a moment where Kevin Durant's the better defender, the better scorer, more dependable, and has more juice to his game. And if you don't think this is true, there's going to be a very powerful moment optically in 2.5 months. Kevin Durant's going to hoist another trophy and be the MVP of the finals, and LeBron's going to be on a couch. And the last 2 years, this has happened. Remember the first year when Durant beat LeBron in the finals? About 15% of you said, Kevin Durant's better than LeBron. And I didn't work with Joy at the time, but I said, that's stupid, you're overreacting. And then it happened last year. And about 30% of you said, Kevin Durant's better than LeBron. And I said, that's stupid, you're overreacting, but they are getting closer. This year, LeBron sitting at home, 11th seed in the West, not really competitive, off an injury we've been told now in the last week, a little worse than we thought, and Kevin Durant hoisting a trophy. It's going to be about 50 to 75% of you that are going to be saying, Kevin Durant's better than LeBron. And I'm going to say, today, yes. Holistically, legacy, brand, no. Basketball player, yes. Better defender, better scorer, better shooter, more efficient, yes. We knew there was going to be a time. We knew this was coming. LeBron's not an elite defensive player anymore. He doesn't give you those juice moments as much. He doesn't give you 44 relentless minutes. He's never been the shooter and the scorer of Durant. And now the other parts of his game have lapsed. This is not to say LeBron's bad. And with that, I'll shift to this. Brian Windhorst wrote a very interesting story. I used to work with him at the other place. And he talked about within LeBron's camp, within the Lakers camp, and with LeBron, there are concerns. Is this the new normal? Or like, MJ's Wizards, Kobe at the end. Is this kind of the new normal? And one of the concerns is LeBron's efficiency numbers have eroded, and he had a major injury. Now, there's three things here to remember. LeBron is in the West. The West is way better. It's harder to win here. Number two, LeBron had a big injury. You can't deny it. And number three is, I think even LeBron in his camp would acknowledge he's been a little distracted with the 49 TV radio projects. But let me defend LeBron on this. And LeBron stopped following me, I'm told. I don't check this on Twitter and social media, so he's mad at me, and I'm totally cool with that. But let me defend LeBron. I'm not anti-LeBron, but I trust my eyes and my ears. I know what I'm hearing, and I know what I'm seeing. He's not the same. There was about a 5-year period where we got the best LeBron. It wasn't early in Cleveland. He was raw, and it's not now. The 5 or 6 year period when we got the best LeBron was also the 5 and 6 year period that both Miami and Cleveland gave him help in two departments. They gave him smart players, and they gave him great shooters. Ray Allen, Battier, Mike Miller, Chris Bosh, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, Kyle Korver, Goofy J.R. Smith. Here's something I know about LeBron. He is great when you give him shooters. So as we blame LeBron for everything, I just want to remind you, smart players who can keep up with LeBron intellectually on the floor, smart guys and great shooters is what he works best with. And the Lakers gave him dumb guys and guys that can't shoot. This team was cast-offs, difficult, goofballs. A couple nights ago, Lance Stevenson stepped on a guy's foot. The guy fell backwards, and the Laker bench erupted. I felt bad for LeBron. I honestly did. LeBron has been reduced to this. That's a big deal. Lance is a goofball. LeBron's so far above this. This matters. A big component to this season. You can't blame LeBron for it. There is a roadmap for LeBron, and it was about 6 years. Pat Riley gave him super smart guys, Battier, Bosh, Ray Allen, D. Wade, and guys who could shoot because LeBron likes to handle the ball. And then and by the way, then LeBron said, I don't want Andrew Wiggins. I want Kevin Love. He can shoot. Kyrie Irving. LeBron said, get me J.R. Smith. Get me Kyle Korver. LeBron knows his game. The Lakers went in the opposite direction. They got him goofballs, not smart basketball guys, distracted guys, and guys that can't shoot. So for LeBron, the Lakers, and his camp, even the greatest players in any sport, in the history of basketball, there were players that Michael Jordan played well with. Michael Jordan never played well with guys who needed the ball early in his career. He played well with slashers and shooters, Steve Kerr, Scottie Pippen, Tony Kukoc, guys who could step back, let Michael dominate, and then when Michael needed Kukoc, Paxson Kerr to hit shots. When he needed ancillary players to do what they do, Michael was great. Michael wasn't good early or late in his career when he didn't have those components. Kobe always played very well with a very good big. Shaq got doubled. Gasol, Shaq and Gasol, high IQ guys. Every star needs certain players that work for them. Don't blame this all on LeBron. High IQ and great shooters. LeBron's great because he's super smart. He's very savvy. He needs guys who get it and guys who can shoot when he drives and passes. The Lakers are the opposite. Goofballs, weirdos, not smart basketball minds, and nobody can shoot. It's not all on LeBron. Yeah, LeBron gave you a roadmap on what works. He didn't give him any of it. He didn't give. Now, by the way, LeBron wouldn't be in L.A. if Kyrie wouldn't have left him. That's the funny thing about this situation. If Kyrie doesn't flake and leave, LeBron's not in Los Angeles. So when Kyrie left And J.R. Smith broke his heart in the finals on that dumb play in game one. LeBron felt like, I got to get out of here. Okay, Kyrie's gone. Love is becoming a little bit of a liability defensively. JR's driving me crazy, and Korver's getting old. So this idea that LeBron, I think LeBron deep down wanted to stay in Cleveland, but Kyrie left. Korver's getting old. JR's goofy, and Love's eroding. So he had to go. He didn't necessarily choose the perfect team, but I got it. But can't all be LeBron here. A big component of this is the two things that work with him, they didn't give him either. And for the record, if you think Anthony Davis solves the shooting, you're wrong. He doesn't solve the shooting part. This is the second worst shooting team in the league to Phoenix. Get some shooters. They've always worked with LeBron. All right, Kmart, Kenyon Martin, 15 years in the NBA. So I started my show today with one of my topics was where Kobe Bryant's really been brilliant. He had a great basketball career. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying in the offseason he didn't do this. And then he retired, and he took all that passion, and he moved it into Hollywood. He was always around here. But his two projects outside of basketball have been great. His short film won an Oscar, and his new kids book is fantastic. It's a New York Times bestseller. LeBron in his career is doing his projects during the season, seems distracted, and it's almost like there's a weird thing like Kobe sort of played Hollywood. I'll get to you when I need you. Yeah. It's almost like Hollywood played LeBron. They just offered him a million things. LeBron's like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that. I think it's hurt LeBron.
Yeah, Kobe, I think he was setting things up for when he got done. Because he's been here since he's been a kid.
Yeah.
So there was no hurry to get to it. And now he's getting to it at the right time. Like you said, I think LeBron saw the Shaquille O'Neal effect. And that's what he wanted to become.
Pow, star.
Yeah, right now. And in my opinion, he could have did the same things from Cleveland.
Right, like Cleveland's not going to offer you.
It didn't deter anything that you're trying to do business-wise, movie-wise. You're still an executive producer on shows, movies, plays, whatever it is you're doing. But I think the glamour of everything right now of Hollywood, I think he wanted that. And now he's here.
Yeah.
And maybe it's affecting his play. I don't know that. The numbers say no, but there has to be some distraction.
By the way, I said this. We had a graph earlier. We all knew that, as Kobe was emerging late in his career and Michael was declining, there is a point when the young rising star surpasses the old great. Yeah. Like, we've all known that LeBron's better than Durant, but he came in the league 4 years earlier. Here's the graph we put up. And LeBron's also played like 2 extra seasons of playoff games that Durant hasn't. I think we've reached the point where Kevin now is the better defender. He's always been the better shooter. I don't think it's crazy to say right now today most GMs would take Durant over LeBron. I don't think it's a shot at LeBron.
Right now, yeah. But you're 16.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you have to take everything into account. Right now, what's more important? Is basketball more important than your business stuff? Is winning more important than your personal accolades in the sport? You know what I'm saying? So everybody have to take that into account, I think. And a lot of people don't do or are not willing to do that with LeBron right now because of his stature, because of his greatness.
Right.
People not willing to challenge or question your motives, which he's earned that to a certain degree.
Right.
But in all fairness to the Lakers, and Lakers fan and faithful and all that, what's more important to you right now? Is winning more important? Is winning championship, was it 17, I think, at 8, whatever the number is? Is that more important to you? Or is you becoming an Oscar winner or you being a team owner? I'm saying, what is important to you right now? So I think they should be able to know that. But all the question and all the stuff right now, there's no answer to it.
Somebody said this to me earlier in the year, an NBA exec. He said LeBron always sought more power, and he got it. But not everybody wants to work with power. So when you hire LeBron, you're hiring Clutch Sports, you're hiring his guys, you got to get his coach. So LeBron's big thing was, I want more power as a player, and he got it. But not everybody wants to be in the room with the most powerful guy.
Yeah, some people don't. That's not what they want or who they are. Or some guys don't want to be a part of it.
Right. It's intimidating. Some guys, it's overwhelming.
Yeah, definitely. So like the statement Kevin Durant said, I think he could handle it if he wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah.
But at his stature, why would I subject myself to that?
Didn't Kevin Durant? What was Kevin Durant's comment, Joy?
It's a
I don't-
circus.
Yeah, he
Whatever
said-
the case may be.
Yeah, Kevin said when you play with LeBron, it's a circus.
Yeah.
And the executive said to me, that was the time I asked him. He said, I wouldn't classify it as a circus, but there's this power vacuum with
It's a
LeBron
lot. It's a lot.
And he's got it, and it sucks the air out of the room. And that's, by the way, that's what LeBron wanted, and he got it.
Because he's demanding. He's been demanding. And,
Yes.
And that's, like I said, that's what you sign for when you sign LeBron. It's not just you getting a great basketball player. You're getting A, B, C of him, and then A, B, C of Clutch Sports, and you're getting everything else that comes with that. And that's just the nature of where sports is now. Well, not sports, because other sports don't allow things like that. Basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just the nature of the NBA and the power that players have gained and earned over the years.
Right.
You know? So that's just what it is.
Not that many of them. But
Not at all. Not at all.
About 4, 6.
I wouldn't even say that many, but yeah, there's certain guys that walk in the room and there's certain things you know that there's going to be a part of the conversation.
Right.
You know, and it's just they are looked at as divas, looked at as hard to deal with. So it's a lot comes with that, man. But I've always, well, for the last 6-7 years, I've said like everything is more important now than basketball. You know, everything else, social media, dress code, like everything else is more important than the game of basketball.
And you were a basketball only guy.
Yeah, I'm a basketball guy, man. I want to play. You know, that's what I'm here for, and everything else is great. Everything else is cherries on top. But
Right.
I'm a basketball player at heart. Like that's who I am. That's what I came up in this as, and that's what I'm gonna leave as.
Yeah.
And everything else we can do that, but I'm a basketball player. I can become a great businessman. I'm a great father. I can do all of those things, but as far as I'm a basketball player.
No, a couple years ago in our business, everybody started talking politics, and I'm like, listen, I'm just trying to be great at sports. I don't think anybody cares about my politics, which, by the way, could alienate half my audience. So in the end, I mean, I turn to actors. I love hearing them talk about acting. That's not to say that a basketball player and actor can't talk global warming.
Yeah, not at all.
But I'm more fascinated with their hoops or their acting.
Definitely.
I want to hear Mark Zuckerberg talk about tech. I don't really care about his politics.
Yeah, definitely.
But if he talks about tech, Jerry Seinfeld deconstructs a joke. That's fascinating. I don't care about his politics. But I'm not saying shut up and dribble. You can talk about him.
Yeah, definitely.
But that doesn't interest me.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So this morning I gave a PowerPoint presentation on Westbrook. Last night, Thunder were great. Adams had 25. Paul George was great. And Westbrook, I kind of feel like he's got an angel on one side and a devil on the other. You don't quite know what you're getting with him. But there is a stat that is fascinating. When he shoots over 21 times, his team stinks. When they shoot 20 or less, they're the Warriors. Westbrook, sometimes his greatest defender is himself. He battles himself. He kind of has a relentless personality. For the record, it's why everybody loves him. Did you ever play with a guy who sometimes battled himself more than the opposition? Because I think he's got an angel on one side. The angel's like he's in a good mood. He drives to the arena. But then I do think that he has nights that he's like, okay, I don't like what you said about me. He comes to the arena, and he's just going to show you're wrong. I'm shooting 24, and I don't think he's a great shooter.
I think the game dictates. I think each game dictates that for him. You know, he always, like I said, he comes to the arena with that edge on his shoulder, with that, like, whoever you put in front of him, I'm going to attack you. But it depends on how the game is going, depends on that level of intensity that you get from him, I think. You know, the shot selection, the whether he's, after the Euro step shooter, the animation of that and rocking the baby to sleep. Like, I think you get that throughout the course of the game, how the game is going. You know, so he's one of the great competitors.
No question.
I'm saying that we have. Like you said, I think he does battle himself at times, shot selection, when to shoot, when not to shoot. But I just, like I said, last night, I stopped watching the game how it was going into halftime, and then I come out and they went on a 24-0 run in the third quarter. I'm like, oh, wow.
And by the way, spreading the ball around.
Yeah, but his numbers are the same, though.
But I think there are two Westbrooks. I think there's good choices Westbrook and bad choices Westbrook.
I think it's the same guy.
You like him more than I do.
Of course, but at times, if I was like, I would love to be on the team with him. At times, he would drive me crazy at times with some of the things at critical times of the game. But throughout the course of the 48, I'll take it. Throughout the course of 82 games and beyond, I'll take it. because it's competitive nature. I can live with that. I can live with a bad shot here and there. I can live with a bad turnover. When I know you're going to bring it and I ain't got to worry about that wavering, I can deal with that. As competitors, you can deal with certain things. Like at times, if we tied or we down 2 and you come pull up 3 on the break when we didn't need that shot, yeah, it might drive me nuts. But what you've done before that and what we're going to do after that, it's not going to outweigh, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's you have to take the good with the bad with it. Like you have to take it with a grain of salt at times. Yeah. Because you know what they're going to do.
By the way, Rick Carlisle, Lakers, I don't buy the rumor. Mark Cuban said LOL. That's what I say about the rumor. What would you think about Carlisle and LeBron?
I think that's Rick Carlisle has been historically known as a no-nonsense kind of coach.
No bull.
If it was, or if it's in the making, or talked about, whatever, I think it's a good fit because I don't think LeBron has had that.
A guy that just doesn't take anything.
Yeah, so he's going to do it his way. And he's proven that. He's been a winner, champion as a coach. He's proven that it's going to be his way with no matter who it is. And the guys that he's coached has bought into that. And if it was to happen, I think LeBron wouldn't have a choice. It might be a battle, but Rick is a great coach. So I think ultimately LeBron will look at his track record, what he's done, his resume, which I think can speak volumes in that situation, which LeBron hasn't had, I don't think.
Yeah.
You know, guys, he probably like guys, but probably respect them to a certain level. But his thing is, what have you done, or what have you done without me, or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and Carlisle
with
probably...
with the Mike Browns, with the Spoelstras, with T. Lue.
What'd you do without
Luke,
me?
You know what I'm saying? So with Rick, you don't have that. So Rick has a title, or Rick has coached Hall of Famers. Rick has been submitted somewhere for a long period of time and done things his way. So if it was to happen, I think it could be a good fit, but it'll take some...
Mark Cuban's not letting him go.
Yeah, but it'll take some soul searching at the door for LeBron, I think, to realize who the coach is, who the guy is that's sitting in the second chair.
Kmart, good seeing you.
Yes, sir, always.
Michael Rapaport is very emotional.
That's a fact.
I am sad, lonely, and more of an accountant. I am not emotional, and you know that about me.
Yes.
So that's why when we come on the show, I have to bring you back down to an emotionally disciplined place, and you're bursting through the cage with me.
Fact again.
So when Odell Beckham gets traded, I look at the Giants and I'm like, oh, 2 first-round picks. You can get a left tackle. For you, trading Odell Beckham was an emotional experience as a Giants fan.
To say the least, it was an emotional experience. I've discussed on this show the shenanigans, the fights, all the detrimental things Odell Beckham has done. But Eli Manning has not been able to test drive the Ferrari, which is Odell Beckham, for the last 2 seasons. When they traded him, knowing that we have this beautiful purple Ferrari, it's probably an addition of 5.
Right.
And despite the fact that he's driven me nuts, this is one of the best football players in the league.
He's certainly one of the most gifted, yes.
Yes. The last 2 seasons, no one has been able to give him the ball. So we have a Ferrari that vroom, vroom, every now and then you got to take it out there and run its engine. Otherwise, it's going to waste. So next year, 2 things are going to happen. We're going to be reminded of the Ferrari that is Odell Beckham.
Yes.
Baker Mayfield's going to be running around. Odell Beckham's going to be scrambling, extending plays. That's a Ferrari.
No, I'm not doubting that at all. I think Baker and Odell runs the best slant pattern in the league, and Baker's very accurate at the slant pattern. They're going to have fun together.
They're going to have fun. So the way it happened, the fact that it happened when I was taking a nap, same thing happened during the Porzingis trade, but has nothing to do with while we were out. For some reason, I can't take a nap without somebody humongous being traded.
Out of your New York team.
I have no idea. So yes, I was upset. I was concerned. And the fact that we got rid of Odell Beckham and didn't get 5 quarterbacks also is concerning to me, because right now we don't have Odell Beckham, we don't have a Ferrari.
Right.
We have
now you don't have a driver.
We got a Mack truck in the backfield. Saquon Barkley. Thank you to me. I came on this show, argued with you, and I said draft him. Yeah. He showed improvement. They're going to be stacking the box on our Mack truck now because we don't have a Ferrari. We got a Mack truck. We know the Mack truck is coming, so that's going to take away from him. especially with the fact that we're going to be starting the season with a guy who the sentimentality is in me. I am emotional. Me and my father, we almost shed a tear on the phone the other day talking about Eli Manning.
How much you love him?
Well, how much we loved. It's in the past.
See,
he's the only guy on the team that's still with the Giants that was part of that Super Bowl roster.
Yeah.
Are we going to bring back Michael Strahan? Well, let's bring it back Strahan. Let's keep celebrating what happened almost 20 years ago.
See, this is why about 3 years ago I bailed on Eli. I know his brother Cooper. I think Peyton's one of the best players I've ever seen. I've met Eli 10 times. I've loved him every time I had him on the show. But as an accountant, it's just about value declining, rising. You're emotional. By the way, with LeBron and Kobe, were you more a LeBron or a Kobe guy?
Kobe.
Okay. Kobe has mastered basketball and projects.
Yes.
I made an argument earlier today. LeBron has thrown them all together, and I think it's hurt him. I think he's distracted. I think it's sapped energy. I think he's worried about too many things. I think he came to Hollywood and let it use him, and Kobe used Hollywood. He said no a lot, took very few projects, dinners, meetings, and Kobe figured out Hollywood because he was here for years. He was never desperate. LeBron feels like when you go on vacation and you have 6 days, and you try to do everything in 6 days. Okay, we're going to go on the roller coasters. We're going to go to the beach. LeBron jams everything into like 4 months in Hollywood. It's the vacation where you should have just either done less or had more time. LeBron looks distracted to me.
This has been, listen, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me again, shame on me. I came on this show, said they're going to make it to the Western Conference Finals. I bought the Kool-Aid. And the Kool-Aid stained my shirt. I have Kool-Aid stained on my face. I thought they were going to do it. I thought he was going to do it. This year has been a disaster from the beginning of the season when they lost the first 3 games, one of which is giving up 143 points to the Spurs, to hugging CP3 when Rondo spit in his face, to serenading Kyrie Irving and singing to him, which made Elgin Baylor, Jerry West, Dave Cowens, and Bob Cousy cry and feel ashamed, to leading Anthony Davis astray. Rich Paul is his agent. Right. LeBron James might as well be his agent. He led Anthony Davis astray. Because you don't think Anthony Davis just came out of nowhere and said, trade me, without consulting his agent, who's pretty much LeBron James. This has been a disaster. This has been a disaster across the board. And whether or not he can multitask or not, based on what we saw this year, you can't. It's just been one thing after another.
You've lived in Hollywood. I've seen, in the 4 years I've lived in L.A., I've seen it literally implode careers. You have to use Hollywood.
Yes.
You cannot let it use you. And here's what it uses you. Because if you're famous, everybody wants to meet with you, take you to dinner, put you on their project. And you have to learn to say, nah.
And Kobe, the real famous people do that.
And Tom Hanks says no all day.
Kobe Bryant, you think when he was playing, you see him at the Chateau, whatever it is?
No, Kobe was the biggest star in L.A. for about 9 years. He had 1 million projects. He said no to 99%. LeBron's got 15 projects this year. It's like, dude, and none of them are great. They're all just
like propaganda projects.
They're just like, it's like Kobe's like, I'll take 2. I'll make them both great. Kids book, New York Times bestseller. Short film, win an Oscar. Like, you got to say no, because Hollywood will offer you the world if you're famous, because everybody wants to jump on board famous and ride the roller coaster, and they want to ride you, and LeBron just said yes to too much stuff.
You don't think that Leonardo DiCaprio could put his name on 17 different half-cooked, half-baked projects if he wanted to by tomorrow? Of course he could.
He doesn't.
Of course he doesn't.
Tom Hanks could say yes all day. He says yes once a year to Spielberg.
Exactly. This has been a disaster of a year. What's going to happen next year? I don't know, but I don't think there's any big free agents coming here.
I agree. I agree with you. I think Kyrie's actually the best fit. By the way, Bill Simmons, you guys are tight, right, or something? I never see him.
No, I didn't mean... yeah, what would he say?
He says, bet the house, Kevin Durant is going to New York.
Oh, really?
I think it
Based on what? Based on what he said that? Who cares that he said that?
Well, I think they know each other.
I don't think Kevin Durant said anything to Bill Simmons about where he's going. I bet the house on that. And let me tell you something. Listen, everybody's throwing around their sources and bet the house. I ain't betting no houses. And who cares what he says? I could say I bet the house that he ain't.
I will say this. If Kevin Durant goes, now I said this the other day, we were doing our show prep. in the history of American sports, find a star athlete who left a brilliantly run franchise to a poorly run franchise and it worked. You can't find one. It's not about money. Sports if you look at all sports, who owns it, who runs it. Okay, the Warriors are arguably, Houston's up there, Boston, are the best run NBA franchise. I know you're a Knicks fan. It's not a brilliantly run franchise. Kevin Durant, who has business savvy, it would be like me going from Fox, which has a history of Fox News, The Simpsons, Fox Sports, and going to a sports network that is fledgling, that has failed. You don't leave regardless of your talent. Great management for poor management.
LeBron did that.
Well, Cleveland wasn't. No, Cleveland wasn't.
How many number one overall picks did Cleveland get while LeBron was gone?
Yeah, but they butchered half of them.
Yeah, but they got Kyrie.
Yeah, but they weren't well run.
That's what I'm saying. They're not well run. He went back and won a championship.
That's LeBron James in his prime of primes
Kevin
of primes.
Durant's the best player in the NBA right now.
But by the way, so LeBron went from well-run Miami to poorly run Cleveland, and despite the fact it was his hometown, he bailed.
But he did get a championship.
Well,
he showed improved.
But they were one
and they're back to what they were.
Listen,
but he did get a championship.
I would love.
Durant's not going to New York.
Listen. I would love nothing more than Kevin Durant and the rest of them all to come to New York. But you know, it's a sexy option too.
What?
Brooklyn is in the house without a doubt. Brooklyn is a cool, sexy, young borough. That team is cool. They got cool players. If you're the king of Brooklyn basketball, I mean, that's pretty cool. Coming to Los Angeles and taking over LA as a Clipper, that's pretty cool too. That being said, he would look gorgeous in that orange and blue. But I don't think there's betting the houses. I think a lot is going to have to do with how they wind up in the playoffs if they win the championship. I think if they win the championship, he's definitely leaving. I think if they lose, I don't think he's going to leave because I think it's going to be the same sort of thing like the Oklahoma City thing.